Hi guys, in this video series we will learn how to develop a Lightning component. A Lightning component is developed using the Lightning component framework. This Lightning component framework is a JavaScript framework which is built on top of the Aura framework. In this video we will be developing a small Lightning component called contact list. This contact list is triggered on click of a quick action. A Lightning component will display a list of contact records that are associated with a particular company, as well as it will have a small filter kind of functionality which is triggered by a button click. We can easily create a Lightning component using the developer console. Click on File, New, and select Lightning component. We can give a name to a Lightning component, let's say contact list, and since our Lightning component needs to be attached to a quick action, we select the option Lightning quick action and submit. Now we have an empty Lightning component, and if you see here, it has the Aura component. All the components will start with the Aura component tag. Here it implements an interface called force Lightning quick action. This particular interface ensures that this component gets attached to a quick action. Next, we will see how to write the init handler. This init handler is defined by the Aura handler tag, the name init. If you see here, in this action attribute, we have a function called doInit. So it is defined with the expression c.doInit. The c dot says that this particular function is available in the controller part of this component. You can assume this init function as a constructor. So if you have some logic which populates data on screen when the component is loading, so all those onload related logic you can write in this init handler. So if you see here, there are many items like controller, helper, style. So there are like 8 items. So out of these 8, the most important are the component, the controller, and the helper. The component contains the markup, as you can see here. Next, we'll see the controller. The controller is the JavaScript controller for this particular component. This controller contains various functions which performs multiple actions in the component, like a function to handle a button click or a function to handle various events from the component. Here, let's write a function that handles the init method. Sorry, the init handler. Here we write a function to handle the init method. So if you see here, the name of the function is defined as doInit. So we create a function with the same name, doInit. This particular function has 3 arguments. One is the component, the event, and the helper. So these are all standard arguments, and we need to write it the same way in the same order. Next, what we do is we try to set an attribute called message with a value hello world. Now let's see what is an attribute. You see here, we have defined an attribute called message, and its type is string, and there is no default value attached to it. So you can consider attributes as variables. These variables are used to store values as well as to display values on screen. Now let's see how to set a value for this particular attribute. We set a value for a particular attribute in the JavaScript controller. For an attribute message, you see here, we have set the value for this message using component set. So the component set is used to set the values for the attributes. Here we are trying to set the value for the attribute called message using v.message. So you can see here that we have used something called v. This v. is the value provider for that attribute. which means it provides the value for that particular attribute. We don't write it as just message. We always write with the v dot message, similar to how we wrote c dot do on it. So the c dot as well as the v dot has special meaning in Lightning component framework. So here we set the value for the message attribute using v dot message, and we set the value to hello world. As I mentioned before, we use attributes to set values as well as to display values. So in order to display values, we write an expression like this. So expressions are written using the curly brackets and an exclamation mark. So here we are trying to display the value of the message attribute using its value provider, v.message. So in order to set the message as well as to get the message, we use the syntax v dot associated with it. Now that we have saved the component, let's create a quick action and open up this component on screen. We choose the action type as Lightning component, and since we have the interface Lightning quick action, the newly created component gets listed here. We select contact list, we give a height like 500 pixels, label as contact list and name, and save it. Next, we add this quick action to our page layout. Now our quick action appears here. On click of this quick action, it displays the new component that we just developed, and it shows hello world here. So this hello world is getting displayed using the message attribute that we have written in our code. In the next video, we will see how we will fetch the list of related contacts and then display it on screen.